Very common question that I often get asked in forums or maybe in a group of friends and known connects, even relatives, is that why did you give up your corporate career and why only academics? What made you get into academics? Why not something else? So I say that yes, the flair for academics was always there in me. I love anything that comes to academics. That was the flair part. And now how do I marry the flair part with the necessity? Okay, there were three questions to be answered here. There's a flair or there's a passion part of me. Now passion and compensation don't run together, so I need to earn my livelihood also. So now find necessity. Is there a necessity in the community that actually can be addressed by my flair and can also address the compensation part? Let's be very pragmatic when we discuss about it. So I felt that the way we have been learning over the ages, it's not about the current generation with whom I learn now, even my own generation, we have always been into that thought process that subjects like mathematics or subjects like science, we attribute something called fear with it, and our whole concept is to get rid of the fear. Even when I meet parents, we say that बच्चे को मैथ से डर लगता है, इसका डर खत्म कीजिए. So if that is the query, I look at from a different perspective. I said, look, to kill fear is difficult. You can overcome fear. Now how you overcome fear is by seeing what lies beyond fear. That's why they say डर के आगे जीत है. पहले उस जीत को देखने की कोशिश करते हैं. Let's try and identify what is the win beyond fear.
So I started with Jaideep sir in grade 10 where I was learning maths, physics and chemistry and passed my board exams with flying colors. Then in grade 12, I desperately needed help with applied mathematics, which was a subject that CBSE had introduced for the first time, and which is why there were no tutors or no resources available online or offline. So I approached Jaideep sir and I requested him to take up the subject. But then, of course, there was the apprehension that everything was online and whether I would actually be able to learn effectively. But he managed to keep up the same level of engagement, focus and humor that he held in his offline classes. And once again, I was very successful in my board exams with that subject. And that's why I would definitely recommend him to anyone who wants to join. And I promise that you won't regret your decision.
My name is Tanush Samantha, and I'm currently studying mechanical engineering at BITS Pilani campus. So this is my first year, second semester, and I'd like to thank Jaideep sir for all the help he's given me in the past 2 years, where he took online classes during a tough period of time during the COVID-19 pandemic. And they formed the foundation of what would be a very successful 11th and 12th exam period, and that has led me to take a course of my choice at one of the institutes of my choice, which is BITS Pilani.
Let me begin by saying that I had the most wonderful time of my learning journey in JD Sir's class. He has this playful manner of teaching that never really made me feel like I was in tuition, but more like I was just having this therapy session, having a laugh and learning simultaneously. He brings out the very best in us, and although his classes are online, it felt like Sir was sitting right in front of us, and his ability to catch us the moment we switch tabs really makes me wonder if he had hacked into our systems. His classes aren't just limited to those 1 hour Zoom calls, because he constantly checks up on us and answers our doubt at any hour. All in all, he's a great teacher and has helped me develop a liking for studying.
When children start learning chemistry, I tell them, look, first of all, you need to know your kitchen. Spend time in your kitchen. You've got a salt, your mother uses vinegar, you've got an acid, you have got a liquid detergent out there, so you've got a base. So many things happen. And the knowledge is not getting married with the practical application. I will cite a common example with you. Like if a class 10th grader boy or a girl reads out on acid, bases and salt saying that turmeric is a natural indicator of base. Very fine. You have scored full marks in your test. Now one fine day you with your family members or your friends are at a restaurant, and while eating you spill some of the food. Let's say it's a paneer butter masala on your shirt, on your dress. and you just excuse yourself to go to the washroom, you take some liquid soap and you start wiping it off. What happens? It turns more red. Now what happened to your knowledge? You have just answered that turmeric is a natural indicator of base. The soap was base. So the turmeric has behaved as an indicator, making it more red. Your knowledge did not help you, it boomeranged on you. And while that red is happening, still you are unable to find out or decode why it happened. You just see, oh, I should not have done that. Learning is missing out here. Today children are able to, if I ask in a typical parameter of say the CBSE way, now don't take me wrong that I am trying to demean the curriculum of one board. I'm myself a CBSE student. We all know if I ask a child to define Ohm's law, the child is able to define Ohm's law. If I give him a problem that the current is so much and the voltage is so much, calculate the resistance. And then the child develops a notion that yes, I got full marks in it. Fine. Very nice. But did you actually solve anything of physics? I think you just substituted some numericals, some numbers into a formula and you calculated your problem. So let's now change the scenario. I have got a Tata Sky adapter which is lying idle in my house because nowadays we don't use Tata Sky. And I have got a LED bulb which runs at 3 volt. I've given you this much information. Can you use that 9 volt Tata Sky adapter to run my 3 volt bulb? What is the apparatus needed? And I'm unable to answer. I know what is an impedance. I know what is power factor. All done. Okay, the tube light has gone bad. Can I fix the tube light? As of now, I'm not saying that it's a tube light with a choke and with a ballast and a starter like the ways we had. It's a simple and LED tube light. We've been unable to answer the question. So that flare part is missing. Once that flare comes on and children are able to understand the benefit of it. Like, my professor used to tell me what is a horsepower. So we used to memorize 746 watt or 735.5. So it comes that horse can pull a body of 75 kg through a distance of 1 meter in 1 second. 75 kg के एक बॉडी को 1 मीटर 1 सेकंड में एक हॉर्स खींच लेता है. यहीं से हॉर्स पावर का जन्म होता है. The thought. That has to be introduced.
Hi, I'm Muskan Khanduri and I'm currently pursuing an undergraduate degree in fashion design at Kent State University, which houses the top 4 fashion programs in the United States. Jaideep sir has motivated me, mentored me, scolded me, which resulted in me getting a 99% on my mathematics board exam. I am yet to see a teacher as dedicated as Jaideep sir to bring quality education to his students, online or offline, using the best resources possible. Jaideep sir, you rock.
Hello, I'm Vanya and I'm in 9th class. I've been studying with Jaideep sir for the last 2 months and my experience has been amazing. So people usually think that online classes are not intellectual, but I will say that it's not the same with Jaideep sir's class. He brings up new ideas and ways to let us understand the concepts, and altogether it's amazing.
And I've been a student of Jaideep sir for the last 4 years through CBSE grades of 9. I love that Jaideep sir connected personally with each of his students. He understood where we were getting stuck up and was always available to answer our doubts, which was not only for studies but even for our personal matters. The occasional movie nights and the birthdays we shared with him are some of my most cherished memories. In these times, we learned to connect with not only our batchmates but form a deeper bond with our tutor. All in all, I would like to say that Jaideep sir is much more than a teacher.
Online classes with Jaideep sir were really helpful in terms of clarifying doubts and asking questions during online school due to lack of meeting times with teachers, and his notes and explanations were really precise and easy to understand.
A child gets into coordinate geometry and starts that equation of a straight line is y equal to mx plus c. And that is what the child starts cramming and says, oh, I had to put point slope format, I have put slope intercept format. Let's make it a little bit interesting. Let's say your birthday party this time and your father has hired a tattoo artist who says that for every tattoo that I do, I'll be charging 50 rupees and to come to your house, I need a transportation of 300 rupees. Plug those in your formula. How much does your father pay? Your father pays y equal to 50x, x being the number of your friends who come or the number of tattoos, considering one friend, one tattoo, or x is the number of tattoo, and 300 rupees is the transportation charge, y equal to mx plus c. Can we now plug a little bit of economics into it? Oh yes, the fixed cost for that particular activity is 300. the variable cost is 20x, total cost is fixed cost plus variable cost. Marry the concept. The same concept of slope, I can marry it out here. And next time, if the child is finding interest, the child myself will say, don't you think when you hire a cab at the airport, you also have y equal to mx plus c? The child starts thinking and says, yes. The flag down charges are say 40 rupees for the first 2 kilometers and thereafter say 24 rupees per kilometer. Again, y equal to mx plus c. So this was something that I think we missed in our legacy system. And when I see children of today's age, there is no shortage of say information, whether it's in the form of print media or in the form of public domain, accessories, connectivity. So if you compare it like in agriculture, then I have got better soil, better seeds, better fertilizer. So why won't the yield be good? The yield has to be good.
Learning with Jaideep sir has been a very fun ride. Yes, people say that online is bad, it's not that great, but under him, it's the best. His teaching methods are extremely fun, extremely understandable and very clear. And yes, he may shout a bit here and there, but afterwards, by the end of the class, he always manages to cheer us up. Thank you, Jaideep sir, for making online learning so fun for us.
Studying with Jaideep sir all these years has really helped me get over a lot of my insecurities and fears about certain subjects and understand them on a more deeper fundamental level. He's always made me fall in love with the subjects he teaches, and it has really helped my confidence grow tenfold, to say the least. His method of instruction has always been firm but humorous and passionate, which has helped me retain lessons very, very easily.
And all starts with a trust. It has to begin with a trust, a bit of mutual respect, because on day one, one is not being able to, show you anything, results, just like we do in a chemistry lab, that's a test tube and a white precipitate. I say, you've got a carbonate salt. Doesn't happen that way. But yes, when children do well and they are in good institutes later that shape up their career, and their parents speak with you saying that thank you for the time that you've spent. I think that's much more than a performance link incentive that we used to get in the corporate times, because on the monetary basis you don't get benefited how the child is doing now good, but the satisfaction that comes to your heart, that speaks 1,000 times more. And it's just like a coach in the dugout, and I see my batsmen, they are just middling everything in the willow, and spectators are happy, batsman is happy, coach cherishes those moments. So when they speak good about me, or the words of mouth that are spread across, it gives happiness. And more so for, there are some parents who get to see me, who get to meet me, but with the extent of online education, we have been able to reach parents whom we never met. And they, if someone says that, you have paid fee, a fee can be earned later by them in their career, but they have entrusted one of their most important assets, that's their child, to me. And if they feel satisfied, I think the job has been done, and their words speak for me, and that's how that spreads. And the good word never stops. So as I say, hope is a beautiful thing, and no good thing ever dies. So that's the same way that this model goes on.
Mr. Jaideep Das has been a blessing for us and for my child. Right from the start, when he was in the 8th grade, where he used to be very scared of subjects like science and math, Mr. Jaideep Das not only drove away the demons of fear from his mind, but also holistically helped him develop into a wonderful human being that he is today. He's always been a very helpful, approachable, and a very understanding person, and an excellent teacher.
My son Avikal was taught by Jaideep sir for 3 years, who started off learning in the offline mode. The instructions of Professor Jaideep Das were very crisp and clear, and he used to give a lot of assignments, and the learning improved for my son. As COVID struck, the instruction seamlessly shifted to online mode, and we also had lots of doubts about the effectiveness of online teaching. But the way Mr. Jaideep Das taught using the online mode with the instructions again at the same level, in fact even better than what they used to be in the offline mode. So all the doubts that we had came unstuck and the learning level never fell down. So online mode is a good way to engage with the students, and the tools available these days are pretty good, and I recommend Mr. Jaideep Das for learning physics, chemistry and maths.
I recommend Jaideep 100%. I have seen my child's confidence grow many folds since her association with Jaideep as her mentor. And it really didn't matter that we were here in Gurgaon and Jaideep was in Hyderabad. The classes were very regular, and my child really benefited from the entire association that she's had over the past year with Jaideep.
From 8th to 10th standard, we were in India and we were staying in Table City, where Soumya used to take in-person classes with Mr. Jaideep. And she used to enjoy, because she had very good understanding with him. It was easy to understand through his notes which he used to give, and these were very informative. She always used to tell that it's very helpful whenever exam comes to revise all the information when she was preparing for her final exams. However, once we moved from India to United States, we still felt that we need tuitions or continuous education from Jaideep sir, because his way of teaching was quite comfortable for Soumya, and online classes were no hurdle for that. It was even much easier because the timings were easy to follow. So I would say Mr. Jaideep has really helped Soumya to get admission in Purdue in the United States. Purdue is one of the toppest institute for mechanical engineers. Thank you so much.
Anish is my son. He studied to Jaideep around 4 years. It was classes were online, offline both, but we experienced the wonderful classes during COVID time. Online classes were really wonderful. His classes formed a vital part of my son's future. With the result, he is now in Vitspilani studying mechanical. Danish is very fortunate to have him as a best mentor, best teacher.
We have been associated with Jaideep sir for more than a year now when Sahib was in grade 9. I must say I'm really pleased with our decision to enroll him with Jaideep sir's tutoring classes, because I've seen an immense progress in Sahib, a sense of discipline that he has imbibed, and he now has a very systematic approach to his studies, and I'm really pleased with that. In fact, pandemic has taught us a lot of things, including the importance of online learning, as well as how efficiently we can utilize this model. I believe Jaideep sir has adopted this model in a very unique way, and he's made use of the latest technology and proved that geographical boundaries cannot be a limitation to education. He has a unique style of teaching wherein he really lays down the concepts at a very granular level, and he makes it very simple for the students to grasp, and sharing a lot of real life examples, which makes it a very interesting process. He has a knack of drawing and holding the attention of the students, which I really appreciate, because in that 1 hour of class that he conducts, he really keeps the child engrossed and entertained while he's learning. Rather, I would say in my son's language, with JD sir, it never feels like you are studying. It is a fun-based learning experience. He really looks forward to all his classes. I would really encourage other parents to let their child be a part of this learning experience. Jaideep sir is not just a tutor, he is a mentor. Thank you, JD sir.
This is a small thank you note for the last 2 years of our association. It all started during
COVID times when we were looking for a mentor for our son who was in 8th at that time. We were looking for some personal coaching, and we came across Jaideep ji through a close reference of ours. Initially we were apprehensive, how will things work because of online and because of the distance, but let me tell you, actually it has been a great boon, because with technology we never realized that sitting in Hyderabad you will be able to impart such a good coaching to our son in Bangalore. You have done really good use of technology and by sharing audio notes and all that, and moreover you have been always accessible to our kids' queries and doubts. The biggest thing which we appreciate is the kind of connection that you have built with our son, and he keeps talking about you and sees you as a friend, which I feel is very important for any teacher to really impart good education. Moreover, your groups are having very limited number of kids, because of which I think you are able to give good focus to each one of them for their special needs. So it all has gone well. Now my son is giving the board exams, and I am hoping he'll score good numbers. So thank you so much for all the hard work and patience you have shown with my son. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. All the best to you.
Jaideep's classes are a fun and happy learning experience for kids. The online mode, though some people have been skeptical about, was rather helpful and a time saver. This helped him extend his services worldwide. Discipline and humor are the two adjectives that come to my mind to describe his classes. Thanks for everything, Jaideep.
My son really enjoyed his session, which was kind of professional as well as friendly too. His teaching style is completely different, and even for me as parent, I can clearly see the changes, not only for study but also for maintaining self-discipline. Thanks a lot for your guidance, dedication in making kids learn the concept, which can last forever. Thank you.
Dr. Anya Gurnani was taught by Jaideep sir, who is based out of Hyderabad, and we are based out of Gurgaon. He taught her physics, chemistry, maths, and this was made possible by his awesome setup of online learning, where he has all the tools and techniques. He also has a very fun way of delivering the content, gets to know the students very well over a period of time, which really helps them to learn in a confident environment.
My son learnt a lot under him. His concepts and way of approach is very clear and well understood by him. Eventually, he developed love towards the subjects, whether it is maths, physics or chemistry in these 2 years. Mr. Jaideep believes that every child is a special individual and they learn and develop at different rates and paces. So he knows what the students like, what they are capable of, and how they are developing and learning. So with his methodology and his experience, he designs the lessons and activities in his own style.
My daughter Aru studied with Jaideep for her class 11th and class 12th mathematics. What I vividly remember from those days is how eagerly Aru used to wait for her online classes. Imagine waiting for online classes and come back happy after hearing examples which related to her interest in cricket. She took up mathematics not as a sort of compulsory paper, but to understand mathematics and see its application across. She has now taken up media studies and English literature, but she still fondly remembers her mathematics lessons with Jaideep Das. So thank you, Jaideep, for kindling the love for maths and numbers in our.
As a parent, we want to share our feedback on Jaideep sir's teaching methodology and the kind of impact it had on my kids' academic progress. First and foremost, I like the way he infuses the fun and uses the different engaging teaching methodology to explain the difficult concept. It overall changed my kids' attitude toward looking at that subject. most importantly, I like the way he takes time to make sure that every kid in the class has a very strong foundation in that subject.
I'm Kavita Jain, and my daughter Karunya has been taking tuitions with Jaideep for almost 2.5 years. She's been taking tuitions in physics, chemistry and math. So when she first joined Jaideep, I was very skeptical about how somebody could teach math, physics and chemistry on an online platform and keep it interesting and hold the interest of the child. But I think within the first 2-3 classes, it was very clear that he was not a teacher, he was a mentor. He took a genuine interest in the children's interests, in what they wanted to do, in how he could help them learn and understand his subjects in the best way possible. And I think he connected as a class. Also, he connected very well with the kids, and I think individually also he knew how to bring the best out in the children. Even the shyest person, he could kind of get them to enroll in the class. I'm so thankful to Jaideep for helping her develop an interest in science, and I'm so happy that we found him and he could be a part of our daughter's progress for the 2 years that we were with him. Thank you so much.
Even while teaching multiple kids, Jaideep sir is able to provide one-on-one attention to the child and tailor his teaching methods to the child's learning style, strengths and weaknesses. This individualized approach helps the child understand concepts more effectively and progress at their own.
My son Rishabh is in class 8 and this year he'll be going to class 9. Since last 1.5 years, Rishabh is under the guidance of Jaideep Das. We feel so blessed to have this most dedicated teacher like him for my child. I appreciate how he clears the basic concept in a lucid and interactive manner. He focuses especially on the conceptual clarity of the subject. His teaching has no physical boundaries. Like, in spite of being in Delhi, we always feel that my son is in constant touch with him.
One thing I've noticed about Jaideep is the way he gels with his students. Frankly, on personal front, sometimes I feel a bit outdated amongst the younger generation. But then it's amazing to see how he becomes one of them when he's interacting with them. The way he is there for them whenever they want him. The kids also feel the same. They're always there for Jaideep sir whenever he wants something from them, and that's the kind of bonding which he maintains with them. Even during the pandemic, when online education was the only solution, and it does bring up its own challenges. I was pretty happy with how this was progressing, because he was able to draw or demand that attention from the kids, even though the kids were sitting remotely. So myself and my daughter, we were pretty happy and grateful to Jaideep
Das and him teaching my daughter Twisha in physics, chemistry and maths since the 9th class. This was 2 years ago, and this was at the peak of the COVID environment. And in the 9th class, I was looking out for the right teacher for her. I really wanted her to have the perfect teacher. Somebody who was not just passionate and had an understanding of the subject matter, but who could actually transfer his love of the subjects to the students. And I think I found the perfect teacher. Twisha obviously fell in love with the learning methodology. She picked it up extremely well. She was a straight A student in school in India, and she did extremely well. In 10th class, we decided that she should move to the US, and while there, I was completely impressed by how easily she was able to adjust to the US education system. The new formats, the new content, the new style of learning. Jaideep helped her through all of that. She did so well, in fact, that she's become an honor student in the US, and she is extremely happy with the way she's going with it. So there is, of course, confidence that comes as a parent when you're happy and you see your child performing well.